I remember well that summer of the year, 1588, when all England stood on the edge of fear and hope. Word had long reached us that King Philip of Spain, angered by my defence of the Protestant faith and by the daring of our English seamen, was preparing a mighty fleet to invade our shores. He meant to bring his Inquisition with him, to turn England once more to Rome, and to cast me from my throne. I was a woman, it is true, but I was also a queen, and I would not yield my crown nor my country without a fight. The Spaniards called their fleet the Invincible Armada, a proud name indeed, and at first it seemed they had reason for it. 130 great ships, bristling with cannon and carrying more than 20,000 soldiers, sailed north from Lisbon beneath the command of the Duke of Medina Sidonia. Their plan was to meet the forces of the Duke of Parma in the Low Countries, cross the narrow seas, and land upon our coast. If they succeeded, England's freedom would be lost. When news came that the Armada had been sighted off the coast of Cornwall, I ordered beacons lit upon every hill so that the whole realm might know the danger. Within hours, fires blazed from one end of England to the other, and bells rang out in every town. My captains, Drake, Howard, Frobisher, Hawkins, were ready. Brave men all, they took to sea in ships smaller and swifter than the Spaniards, but handled with courage and skill. The nation watched and prayed. As for me, I did not sit idle in my palace. I rode to Tilbury, where my army waited should the enemy land. The camp lay by the Thames, the men rough and weary from their watch, yet their spirits were high. I wore a white gown and a silver breastplate over my heart. I can still recall the faces turned toward me, thousands of them, and the silence that fell as I began to speak. I know I have the body of a weak and feeble woman, I told them, but I have the heart and stomach of a king, and of a king of England too. Those were my true thoughts, not words set down by others, for in that hour I felt no fear. I trusted in God, in the loyalty of my people, and in the valor of our navy. If the Spaniards came, I was ready to die among my soldiers rather than see England enslaved. But Providence favored us. At sea, the wind and waves fought on England's side. Our ships harried the great galleons from Plymouth to the Channel, striking fast and vanishing again before the lumbering Armada could reply. Off Calais we loosed fireships among them, vessels packed with pitch and flame, and in panic the Spaniards cut their anchors and scattered. A storm followed, fierce and unrelenting, driving them north into the cold seas around Scotland and Ireland. Few of those proud ships ever found their way home. When the danger had passed, the people gave thanks in every church. I too knelt in prayer, my heart full of gratitude. We had faced a power greater in number and in might, yet England remained free. The wind had been our ally, but courage and faith had been our shield. From that victory, our nation gained new confidence, and I knew that God had preserved us for a purpose. Now, as I look back upon those days, I see them as the finest of my reign, when my people and I stood together united in spirit and in love of country. The memory of that deliverance will live long after my own voice is silenced, for England was tested by fire and storm, and she endured.